In this recording, we're going to be solving equations with variables on both sides of the equal sign. What we're going to do first is to simplify both sides of the equation. So if there is something that needs to be distributed, or if there's some terms that need to be combined, you want to do that both on the left and then on the right. Then we'll move the smaller variable to the other side. And so remember that a negative number is always going to be smaller than a positive one. All right, so let's go. So here, I'm going to look at the left side, and I see that nothing needs to be simplified either side. So then I go to step 2. The smaller variable between 7x and 9x would be 7x. So I want to move it. So I'm going to subtract 7x from both sides of the equation. And then that will leave me with 20 is equal to 2x. Then I will finish up by dividing both sides by 2 and come up with 10 is equal to x. We could also say that as x is equal to 10. We're going to skip B and move on down to C, the harder problem. Now, I know that we could subtract my variables and choose whichever is smaller, hard to decide. But what we want to do now is we want to start getting rid of these fractions, and so that it will make the problem easier. To do that, I want you to do this too. You're going to have to try it and keep trying it. I need to find a common denominator for 4 and 5, which is 20. And then I will multiply both sides of this equation by 20. Now, I know I'm not going to have much space here, but I want to show all these steps. I will then distribute my 20 to both the terms inside that parentheses in the left side. So I will have 20 times 3/4 w minus 20 times 4 is equal to 20 times 8/5 w. So I'm going to multiply 20 times all the terms. On this one, I will, you could multiply across and get 60 divided by 4, which is 15. It's probably easier to cancel. 4 will go into 20 5 times. It's like 20 over 1. And then we multiply 5 times 3 and get 15, and 1 times 1 and get 1. So that's 15 over 1, which is going to be 15w minus 80 is equal to, again here, canceling, I'm going to get a 4. So I get 4 times 8 is 32, and 1 times 5, 1 times, there's actually a 1 there now, is 1. So 32 over 1 is 32. So 32, and there's that w here. That same thing was true right there. You got to make sure that you keep the variable that went with it if there was one. Now I'm ready to subtract my smaller of the two. So I'm going to subtract 15w from both sides. And that's going to leave me with negative 80 is equal to 32 minus 15, that's 17 w. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 17. And my answer then is going to end up being w is equal to negative 80/17. Not a pretty answer, is it? All right, so now let's go to the next one over here. This time you can see we will need to distribute to simplify this side and then combine terms. So I'm going to distribute my 4, and I'm going to get 4r minus 36 plus 2 is equal to 12r plus 14. I can now combine my 36 and 2. So I get 4r minus 34 is equal to 12r plus 14. I want to move my smaller r, so here's my 2 r's. So I'm going to subtract 4r from both sides. And that will leave me with negative 34 is equal to 8r plus 14. Now I'll move my 14, so minus 14 from both sides. And that's going to leave me with negative 48 is equal to 8r. So divide both sides by 8. And my result's going to be that r is equal to negative 6. All right, so we'll end the video right now.